Welcome back to an episode of Bass Fishing Addictions. Today's episode I'm going to be unboxing a KastKing Speed Demon. Now, when I first heard about KastKing, and also when I first saw them, it was on Amazon, so I kind of figured they were just some cheap Chinese brand, you know, that you see all over Amazon, all over eBay. But somehow these guys happened to make their way onto Tackle Warehouse's page. And you know, if you get that far, then you're probably a pretty legitimate product and brand. So I decided to cave in and I bought the Speed Demon. Now this might seem a little odd and backwards to say, but for some reason I'm more excited to unbox this cheaper KastKing reel than what I was to unbox this Abu Garcia Zeta, which is brand new for 2020. I don't know if it's because KastKing is such a cheap and affordable brand, you know, that I'm dying to see their quality or what. But pretty excited to see what is in this very bland and plain box. Here's the moment of truth. Oh jeez. Whew. Dang, I did not expect this kind of packaging. It's got a cutout for the reel and everything. Wow, I would definitely not expect this reel to be as cheap as what it sells for. Holy crap. This thing looks way better in person than what you see online. I'm talking like way better in person. And yes, I know this is not the current Speed Demon. This is the first generation Speed Demon, black and red version. The newer version is black and orange. But I figured if I try this out, if I like this, then I will buy the newer Speed Demon and, you know, obviously make a video about that, see which one I like better. But I was seeing comments here and there, I don't know if it was on Instagram, YouTube, where it was exactly, but people were saying that the newer Speed Demon, the black and orange one, fixed all the issues that this one apparently had. So I'm kind of interested to see what sort of issues a baitcaster can have, because I've never really had any issues with any baitcaster I've ever owned. Let's just get an overall look of this reel before we dive into anything else. Like, honestly though, I just cannot get over how beautiful this reel is. Black and red is one of the best color combinations for a fishing reel or a fishing rod, in my opinion. They just go so good together. And then this reel, it's, you know, it's a little bit elongated, but that also creates more of a distance between the spool and the line guide right here, so it makes it easier to actually flow off of the spool without getting a backlash or anything. And unless you have seen this thing in person, you would never know that inside all these little holes underneath this plate looks like a metallic red. I mean, you can very clearly see that straight on, but at an angle, wouldn't even know it's there. Let's see, what is this down here on the bottom? 12 pounds of fishing line, 160 yards. So, pretty big spool size. And again, got some EVA foam handles. I say this in like every other video, but I'm not really a fan of foam handles. But these things, you can see how thick those are. That's pretty darn thick. I like them for now anyways. I'd prefer rubber. Pretty solid clicks. Let's see, does the tension knob click? Nope. And usually on cheaper reels it doesn't, so kind of not surprised with that. Star drag, that clicks. Let's see, does the, I'm assuming that's a magnetic braking system. That guy clicks right there. This is kind of like a, you know, stereotypical cliche boring looking braking system, labeled 1 through 9, and we're gonna set that to minimum. But it feels pretty good. Reel's nice. It's pretty quiet too. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear the spool shaft kind of rattling around in there. I mean, that's what it feels like anyways. Obviously just reeling normal, it's not really going to be that much of an issue, and if you have line actually creating drag on the spool, it's going to behave a lot differently than having nothing on it right here. So spin test goes pretty decent. We got the magnetic braking system, got that set to minimum. Got the tension knob about where it needs to be for a fishing lure. You know, it's not like the drag or anything is tightened down an insane amount. So this is pretty much right about where it needs to be. So the handle spins pretty decently. Let's get a spool spin. So, just about like every other reel. Pretty average with the time that the handle or the spool spins. So how do we take the side plate off? Looks like we got a little button right here. So I guess you just push that down. Push it down and then you push the side plate down. See, we got a bunch of magnets. Spool's just wide open right there. It's kind of odd going from like Abu Garcia where they have the whole entire edge of the spool like filled with extra adjustments and stuff. Alright, come out. I've only seen one other reel like this where it does not have a full-length shaft attached to it. And has a bearing on the little stubby shaft right there, so if you want to upgrade your bearings, gonna need a tool or something to get that off. You can see the rest of the shaft is right down in there. See, being that I don't have the spool or the side plate on, I'm not feeling all that extra wiggling and the other thing, all the looseness that I thought I was hearing before. So maybe I just got to clean it up a little bit, put some more grease or oil in there or something. But overall, it's not bad whatsoever. Wow, that is a very, very quiet side plate when you put it on. So obviously a reel this cheap is not going to be absolute perfection or anything. When I, you know, whip the handle like that, I can feel that little stubby shaft just rattling a tiny bit in there. And then also, the GoPro is not good for focusing close up, but right here on the paint job, so right on this piece, well, I guess on the front of it too, I just felt it, but it is pretty rough. And I can even see that this whole entire spot right here is not even grooved completely smooth. You know, if you wanted to get it completely smooth, you're gonna need to hit it with some sandpaper. So I guess that's only two little gripes about this reel so far. Well, that just about wraps up our first impressions for the KastKing Speed Demon. I've honestly been wanting to get my hands on this reel for quite a while, since before it even came out when I first heard about it, because at the time the 9.3:1 gear ratio was the fastest bass fishing reel that they made. And I also kind of stayed away from them because at that time KastKing wasn't a really well-known brand or anything. But their more expensive products have made it on Tackle Warehouse, so I decided to give them a shot. Being that this reel has one of the fastest gear ratios in the industry at the 9.3:1 level, I think I'm going to be using this for jigs and creature baits. I bought a Daiwa Fuego rod, new for 2020 as well. I'm going to be doing an unboxing on that too. But it's got this same killer red and black paint job, and I just think these things are going to match up perfectly. It's a heavy action rod, so pair that with this thing, it's just going to rip fish right out of cover. So if you guys want to see me do a product review on this thing, or possibly, well, depending on how much I like this, do more videos with the newer KastKing Speed Demon, make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.